guys, it's Tim from the Board Game Rundown, and I'm flipping out because I have Grant Lyon here in the booth.
Hey.
I randomly reached out to you, dude.
Yeah.
And you were just like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm usually pretty open. That's one of the nice things about the world of board games, right? Is I think that we're all pretty welcoming. We're all pretty open. Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously. But the other thing is, though, you're not just, the world of board games. You are a stand-up comic.
That is true. Yeah.
You're a busy man, you know. And you know, and it's cool because you do shows, because you do show at Origins for sure, right?
Yep. I do a show at almost all the conventions I'm at. I during the pandemic, just like sort of as a writing exercise, I was like, I wonder if I could write an hour on board games.
Oh, right.
Of jokes. And then, I wasn't really planning to do the show live,
sure.
But I got to the end of that year and was like, oh, I think I actually have like a decent show here, but maybe I'll try it. And so I remember the first time I did it, I like put like 20 minutes of my regular stand-up, my non-board game related stand-up, into the board game show because I was like, well, these jokes really work, so I'm going to need these to like prop up the other stuff.
Right.
And then the board gamers were so into the board game jokes, anytime I did the jokes that I knew were good, they were like, no, shut up. Like, don't talk about your dad. I don't care. Go back to board games.
It's like nobody when you go see your favorite band, and it's like, now we're going to play some of our new songs. And everybody's like, boo. You want to hear all the good, all the.
For sure.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
So how long have you been a board gamer? Because
I've
been a comic a long time.
Yeah. I've been a comic for like 18 years now. I started getting into the world of modern board games. I grew up playing card games and playing Parcheesi and stuff like that.
Right on.
But I got into the world of modern board games sort of around like 2015, 2016. My buddy who's a comedian in L.A. was into games, and he started hosting game nights.
Right on.
And, that was also like a point in my life probably where I was like, well, I don't want to just like go stand around at a bar all the time. Like this is a great way to drink with my friends and stuff.
And still be social.
Yeah, exactly.
Get all of that interaction.
And so I love the way that the games facilitated us like getting together and hanging out. And it was like, everything we were playing at that time was pretty like lighter party game sort of stuff. It was like Telestrations and Cash and Guns.
I played Telestrations till like 3 in the morning the other night.
It's still great.
Yeah, we're rowdy with it. Yeah.
And then that dude moved away after a couple of years, and then me and my other buddy were like, man, we really like doing that. Maybe we should start hosting game nights. And then so we started like doing our own game nights.
And then it wasn't until COVID that you were like, I'm going to start making fun of my friends with board games.
I mean, basically it was, when all my shows got canceled because of COVID, I was like, for the first month, I wasn't doing anything. I was just hanging out with my roommates and doing whatever we could. And we were playing a ton of games during that time because all of my roommates are comedians too. So all of us ceased to have a career.
How do you get anything done, though, with playing with comedians, playing board games, right?
I mean, it is. I'll tell you, the rules explanation is the hardest, where I have to be like, everybody, shut up. For 5 minutes, shut up, all right? You're going to tell so many jokes in a few minutes, but right now you're paying attention, and then you're going to be so funny later, but right now, shut up.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so after like a month of just playing with my roommates, I was like, oh, maybe I should start making some videos for like my friends.
Right.
Because they don't know what games are good. And so I just started making videos about like the games that were already in my collection.
I was going to say,
really
is that what spawned your channel and stuff?
And like at first, I didn't put them anywhere except for like my own personal Instagram stories.
Oh, sure.
I was like, this is literally just for my own friends to like find a good game right now.
Right on.
And my friends were like, these videos are like pretty good. Like
maybe
you should like put them up.
You're good.
And so after a few months, I started like putting them on YouTube and then started my TikTok and all
hell
that sort of stuff.
Yeah, TikToks, man, that's one I would love to crack. But but you got, I have envy, TikTok envy, right? Watching what you guys do.
It's a good place. TikTok is a great place for making new gamers, right?
Yeah.
Like they're on YouTube. I feel like people already know games pretty well. They want to find out about the new. TikTok is a lot of like, I played Catan. What else is good?
Yeah,
that sort of stuff.
And it's so, you just swipe up, swipe up, swipe up.
Oh, it's so easily digestible.
What's this? Yeah. And then you get that foot in the door.
Yeah.
Now you're in.
Yeah.
Now you're in. So, no, what were you going to say?
No, I didn't have anything.
So, like, now, do you put your board game jokes in any of your regular stand-up?
There are a few that work.
Well,
like,
some might be
some
universal,
of them are,
right?
Yeah, some are too specific to this audience, and I can't do too many of them on a regular club set because then people are like, why is this guy talking about board games so much? Like, I didn't come here for this. But, like, I have a joke about how board games are bad for my dating life because they're
well, they're bad for that, too.
Yeah. I have a joke about how, like, board games are bad for my dating life, you know, because it's like I can't bring a lady home and she sees 500 board games if she's not already into board games.
Yeah.
Like, I have a joke about how my dad is really bad at picking up new games.
Okay, right.
But that's like more about my dad than it is
and
about a specific game.
It's a little universal. It's
yeah.
A little, yeah.
For
that's,
sure.
That's awesome. Now, I was already, what's funny is I kind of knew about you, but I didn't realize I knew about you because you look completely different, 10, 15 years ago.
Yes.
Because you
no
had
sweet mustache.
I know. And you didn't have the cool color glasses either.
Yeah, true.
But I remembered a YouTube clip that went viral of a wrestler that came on. This was one of the landmines. I was like, oh, but if I ask you something weird, I watch it. How crazy was that?
Oh, yeah. So for people who haven't seen, I was headlining a comedy club that doesn't exist anymore. I think I was in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Sure.
And there was a table of like 3 or 4 semi-professional wrestlers at
giant people.
Yeah,
gigantic
they
people.
are legit huge. And just from the moment the show started, this dude was like, just wanted to be the center of attention. Right. Used to like being, and so like he would heckle and then flex at the rest of the audience and like stuff like that. And so for a while, I was trying to make it funny.
Right.
I was like, hey, I was like making fun of him. I was playing around with it. But after like 40 minutes of like, I was just like, bro, I'm tired of this.
Right.
Like, I'm tired of having to babysit you. And so I said something that he didn't like where I was like, you're a fake fighter.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, that was the switch.
Yeah, that was like, that was me being like, okay, I'm not having fun
Gloves
anymore.
Off. We're not playing.
Yeah.
We're not playing anymore.
And so he didn't like the trash talking that I did, and he got onto stage. And I will say, from his perspective, he's giving me a wrestling knee, right? He's not kneeing me as hard as he can, and he's actually he knees me on the inside of my groin. He doesn't knee me like directly
in the
nuts.
Junk. Right.
Like, he knees me. But I don't know that's going to, like, this is not something
you
we've
got this
set up.
gigantic freaking dude that comes up. This isn't some Andy Kaufman stuff
I mean,
where it's like.
Yeah, he would have crushed me if we actually had fought.
Right.
But, so he comes up, and I, like, put my face right in his face.
Well,
I'm not somebody that backs down.
So I'll tell you as a viewer, watching it from my end, and it's like, oh, he's doing this thing, and like, and I get it because I like to go to comedy shows. I like stand-up comics, you know what I mean, and stuff. But it's like a thing my wife and I enjoy doing together when we don't have our kids.
Yeah.
And so like, but I also am like a meat and potatoes, how the sausage is made guy. I listen to like podcasts about comedy and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, in my brain, I'm like, so what's going through his mind while this is like going on?
Well,
and then because when it's like at first, you're joking with him, you're picking on him, haha, and he's like a relatively good sport about it, but he's still because he's the center of attention.
Yes. Yeah.
and then when you started saying some of the stuff you were saying, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like, what? And then he gets up, and I was just like, and you didn't back down, like, because.
Yeah.
Well,
you can. So if you go back and you watch the video, so he knees me in the groin,
right,
and then turns away and walks off stage right away,
right.
And if you watch the video back, you'll see me pick up my beer bottle and walk to the edge of stage because literally I'm going through in my head like there's no staff, there's no security that has come up and stopped this.
Right.
So like I'm on my own. These dudes could murder me. If I need to fight, you gotta have something. I gotta be 100 right away.
You do, yeah.
So I picked up my beer bottle because there was like a thought in my head, like, do I jump off this stage and smash this over his head?
Right.
Because it's the only way I could win a fight like this.
Right.
And so I'm like, I'm going through the, like, and then so there's like a,
and that's
a 10-second pause where I'm like trying to work out what I'm gonna do right now, and then I took the like. all right, like,
right.
we're having fun, you know, try to de-escalate the situation.
Right.
But there really was a moment where I was like, I might have to, like, fight big time right now.
It was like, so again, as a viewer, like legit tension, because it's like, what the hell is happening?
Yeah.
Like, what's going to happen? And I remember when that went viral, I don't know, that was like 10, 12 years ago, right? That was
I mean, it was like, it was probably like 2010, something like that. I think it probably happened around then. Well, you know, and the funniest thing about it, like, that video happened, it was up, it went viral.
Right.
But then, you know, it's sat dormant for a long time.
Nobody's brought it up for I go in.
Well, all of a sudden, like 4 years ago, I started getting people reaching out to me constantly for that because that dude was running for mayor of his city. And so, like, I started getting press reaching out to me and, like, asking me for comment.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, I don't want to. This was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I'm done with this.
Yeah, I don't
like.
Well, that's taking the high road though
but
too.
It also was like there were voters reaching out to me to be like, "Was this real? Should I not vote for this guy because of this?"
That's
like,
insane.
I know.
That's
insane.
Funny.
Yeah.
So sorry, I had to ask you because because again, like I'd seen you but didn't even know that was you.
Yeah.
And then like I was like, oh. I was kind of going down the rabbit hole. You know how YouTube is. You go down the rabbit hole. You watch something. You watch something. You watch something. And then the other thing I saw that because I love this stuff. Because like Mel Brooks, for me,
I love
especially
Mel
like
Brooks,
70s Mel.
I grew up on Mel Brooks movies.
Push the envelope like as far as you can because it's funny. Making people uncomfortable sometimes is funny.
Yeah.
I watched a thing you did. It was it Bad Pitches? You were talking to somebody about like the worst pitches you had for like sketches.
Yeah, it was a podcast called Bad Pitches, and I mean some of it is just about churning out content, and you just throw whatever you can at it and see if something sticks.
I am the maniac that laughed at every one of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I can't even remember what some of them were.
I forget what some of them. Like I was just like laughing my ass off because I'm like, well, I see why that you wouldn't.
I remember what one of them was. I thought it would be funny to do like a Woody Allen stereotype of Jesus.
Yes.
Like I thought that was like because
that was,
you know Christianity wasn't a thing.
Right.
Jesus was born Jewish. What if he was just like this like hacky version of a Jewish like the stereotype that we have like.
I was laughing.
Boy, cringe.
And again though, right? Pushing the. That's like why Between Two Ferns.
Yeah.
Like, I want to do an interview with somebody that's just between two ferns where I'm the, the idiot. Because that's the trick, right?
Yeah.
Is because Zach Galifianakis is always the fool. It's never the host.
For sure.
So he can do and say all these horrible, things because he's the idiot.
Yeah.
And so like, and again, like Mel Brooks, right? Like Blazing Saddles, one of my favorite movies of all time. Can't make it today.
Yeah.
But the twist is, right, all the horrible people in that movie, they're all the buffoons. They're all the idiots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All the good guys, they're the smart guys, and everything.
For sure.
But I love.
Well, that's very nice of you to deep dive on me like that.
Sorry about that.
I appreciate it.
Sorry.
You slide in my DMs, you watch all my stuff. It's very flattering.
No. I just was like, again, it was a little nerve-wracking at first because it's like, I'm just going to, worst thing anybody says is no.
Yeah.
Second worst thing is they just don't respond.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I guess you could have said no and don't ever talk to me again. But no, like, it made my day when you're like, win. I'm like, hell yeah.
Sweet.
Let's do it. And, we probably have some mutual. Do you know Mike Giuliano?
Oh, yeah, very well.
Like Mike's one of my buddies.
I went and played Mission Control in there the other day and stuff.
Because
Super fun.
You did the designer challenge.
Yeah, I did.
Don't ask question. I knew you
fun.
were there.
Yeah.
But like, I almost was like gonna say to Mike, hey, do you think I can ask Grant? And I was like, I'm not gonna ask. I'm not gonna get Mike's blessing.
Well, I mean, also it's a good lesson that like. It's okay to ask.
It's okay to ask.
Like it's I mean,
for real.
It can be intimidating. It can be scary, but. Again, the worst that happens is someone just says, no, I don't have time.
No, I don't have time. Not interested.
And then you're at the same place you were before you asked.
Right.
But so let that be a lesson to all of yous.
Yeah. Also, don't get on stage.
Yeah. Don't perform in front of professional wrestlers.
So I'm going to run back to comedy real quick because I love this stuff. Do you do like some comics, and again, I guess it's big on TikTok, is like the crowd work.
Yeah.
Like you put your crowd work on TikTok because now you're not giving up your jokes for your set, right?
Well, I mean, that is a big thing where it's like with our pre-written material, the goal is to like be doing it as an album, to be doing it as a special, that sort of stuff.
Right.
So, but we live in a day and age where you have to keep putting out content all of the time.
All the time.
And so I think a lot of people search for those crowd work. I mean, in some sense, I actually think it's hurting comedy.
Sure.
Because
the
stand-up now has become so much about just trying to get clips.
Oh, sure.
Right? It's not about the art of writing a great joke and I'm not saying that everybody is like that, but it is because of the world of TikTok, people can sell tickets that aren't famous because they've got a following on something else.
Right.
And they just need to keep creating that content.
It's
know?
It's a beast. You create this beast and you have to keep.
We could swear on this?
Yeah, you could swear.
Because I saw one of the most brutally funny heckles I've seen in a long time.
All right.
A comedian that wasn't doing very well and wasn't doing great on stage tried to just talk to somebody and go like, hey, where are you from? And the guy's response without missing a beat was, I don't want to be on your shitty TikTok. And I was like,
brutal.
Wow, that's pretty funny.
That is brutal.
Yeah.
Do you ever, I mean, it happens to everybody. there's always going to be times where you bomb, you're working out material and stuff.
I mean, if you're never bombing, that means you're not trying something. You're not growing.
You're not growing. You're just doing the hits.
I think the guys that don't, the people that don't bomb are people that get addicted to crushing.
Oh,
right?
Sure.
And it's just like, I have to do that same stuff all the time because I know it kills and I can't risk not killing.
Right.
But then you're not writing anything new. You're not doing anything. You're not risking anything.
So when you start, if you're having a show that's kind of dead, what's your go-to to get you back in?
Well, I mean, honestly, like talking to people is a good way to sort of try to
wake them
grab
up a little,
people's attention and
get them in.
That sort of stuff. You know, the other thing is like try a different type of material, right? If you've been doing something about dating, well, try something about, politics, or try some maybe you just haven't found what this audience wants to hear about.
Where you're at. Yeah, and it can be so regional too, right?
Yeah,
like depending on where you go and where they're at.
And then there honestly are times where I have done something where I'm like, I've tried a bunch of stuff and you guys clearly just don't care. And so I resign myself to bombing and I'm like, all right, this is just about like, I'm doing some stuff for me now.
Yeah, nice.
And then I'll bomb and then I'll leave and then I'll survive.
You will. You will, because you'll go to the next show.
Yeah.
You live and bomb again. Live to bomb another day, right?
Exactly.
Well, thank you for not saying I don't want to be on your shitty YouTube show. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Happy to be here.
So like God, I had something and I totally lost it. Tell me about your channel. Like what you're doing.
So I go by Grant's Game Recs, RECS, like recommendations. You can find me on there on like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. And for me, like a lot of it is just I'm trying to make like board games fun and accessible, right? I try to give real information done in a silly way. Yes. I want to like tell you why I think this game is good and also make a few jokes along the way.
Why not? You're there.
Yeah. To me, like, look, I love games and I like big strategic games. I like silly party games.
For sure.
But to me, it always comes back to like, it's a game. I don't want to take this super seriously because we are playing games. It's supposed to be fun.
We're supposed to have fun.
At the end of the day, this is just supposed to be fun. And so that's what I'm trying to do with my videos is just make it fun.
Well, you're killing it because like every time my subscription feed, like my notifications, it's always like, oh, Grant's got another video, Grant's got another video, Grant's got another video.
That's great.
And I'm always like, dang, because you pop them out, they're so catchy, they're so tight.
Thank you.
You've got a good format.
Well,
so
appreciate
this
it.
is me just fanboying a little bit. I apologize.
Thank you. No.
But,
please compliment me
anytime.
Right?
Like, oh, really? But yeah, man, I love it. I love your stuff. Again, like so many things where it's like, because I found you. I saw you earlier, right, years ago, but then I found you because you were popping up at the conventions.
Yeah,
totally. It's like, and I'll tell you, first thing, it's like board game comic, like hacky, because I don't love Big Bang Theory. And I feel like personally, it's like it's all hacky nerd jokes, in my opinion. No judgment on anybody that loves it. Some people love it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's all it's going to be. You know?
Yeah.
And then I started like checking it. I was like, well, a lot of my friends really like them. I should like start looking, you know?
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh no.
Yeah,
like this is good. This is really good.
Well, and like, you know, I mean, for me, it's like, I'm just trying to like point a spotlight on like this. These aren't supposed to like bada bing jokes.
No,
these are like talking about the culture and like the stuff that we all relate to. You know, that's the thing I love about doing like the board game show live is people always come up to me afterwards and they go, "Man, I feel seen."
Yeah.
You know, like it hits so close to home.
Oh
so.
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You have a niche that nobody else that I know of is doing anything.
No other comedian is insane enough to try to write a show all about board games.
You are the craziest one.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was, but there was in the last year, I had a prototype for a game, and I had to send it on, and they're like, oh, here's the address. Somewhere in my email, I have your address. Because I was like, they were like, hey, can you send the game to Grant Lyon, blah, 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 California. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, okay. I almost put like a business card in there just to be like,
nice.
But no, I didn't do that. But I was like, small world, really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Really cool. Man, I had like 100 things I was going to ask you. My brain's all over the place. Who are some of your favorite stand-up comics?
I have to run to another meeting soon.
Okay,
too.
Yeah, we'll be done soon.
I got a 2 p.m. meeting.
Let's wrap it then, bro.
Is that all right?
No, it's great.
Sorry.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's been awesome. Thank you so much for your time. Guys, please check out, say the name again because I don't want to butcher it.
Yeah, Grant's Game Rex.
You probably already know.
Yeah.
But
well, what I say is I don't do reviews, I do recommendations. I make videos about the games I'm really enjoying.
And again, totally different niche.
Yeah.
So you got the niche for the comedy and you got the niche for the style of channel.
So thanks for having me, buddy.
Dude, it's been a blast.
Appreciate it.
So excited. Thank you so much.
Hey, I hope you're all having a fun time out at Gen Con too if you're here.
And then check him out at the at his shows. You're all over the place.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, buddy.
For the Board Game Rundown, I've been Tim. This has been Grant. We'll see you next time, guys. Thank you.
Bye.